Okay. Today's date is um, Friday the 19th of June. I made a recording after putting it to my computer, so I can upload it to my video. Ow, itchy balls. But I made a voice recording about my well, I've been on the council, and literally it was my appointment went very well. I'm happy you did. No, so you have to, house me. But basically, I have to provide some evidence for it. But this is just gonna be what I was thinking about. What was I thinking about? So I was thinking about, what was I thinking about? Let me just stretch my legs. I stretch my leg I stretch my legs I put in one leg forward and one leg forward like this, and then we go up and down, just straight. I'm holding something here. Oh, I can stretch properly. It's leaving no stress. Just raise the leg, You're stretching, As long as your muscles are stretching, flexing, stretching. So, I was thinking about antimatter. Antimatter. What was I thinking about antimatter? I never know. Yes. Why was there more antimatter than antimatter? Why is there matter? Why is there more? Why is the universe made of matter instead of not antimatter? What was It's like asking if there's two or six stuff. But what's my processing about it? What's my new dimension processing about it? So I was thinking about processing antimatter and matter. Why the universe made of matter? Why everything? Matter has mass, natural mass. Matter is my hypothesis is like matter is give things it's easier to give things mass. The universe has to give mass. Then you ask, why does mass matter? Stability. Stable fields. Or not unstable fields. You have to ask. So my hypothesis is like this: we go why matter over antimatter, because you can stabilize a quantum field with gravity. So you have gravity because that's why matter. And then why can you stabilize gravity? Why can you stabilize matter instead of matter? It's the problem with matter and antimatter. So the duality, it goes in forever. There's no root problem. That's what I'm saying. The philosophy is like the matter and the antimatter. Philosophically, you can have both systems, in one system. But the universe is made up of both systems. But why the universe tend to grow towards matter? Because if you look at suppose two systems of representation, when they come into contact, antimatter, and then each other, anti-systems, they work on the negative charge. You get a proton, you get an anti-proton, you get an electron, you get an you get so if a proton is positively charged, an anti-proton is negatively charged, and that's antimatter. And you got anti-electron, or you got anti-neutron. So you get neutral is just neutral, so you don't have a massive composite unless you have a different behavior that neutral produces. Then that was what the anti-system will hold. So the fact of the matter is, I'm explaining it philosophically, because universe had when it was the universe cooling down, it cooled down, and cooling down you get matter, you get positive, you get the positron world. Everything has energy charge in them, But it feels like yes, it's stabilized, But the system is like there's no recursively. I'm not gonna explore this further. I'm gonna have to work on my ontological Bayesian intelligence AI models, but the framework I'm heading to is like it's a deeply it's a acyclic problem. It's like a phenomenon that you can't explain via linear via it's like a chicken and egg problem. Chicken goes fast because it's like it's a dilemma. It's a dilemma, to say the least. Because the dilemma is that the dilemma is like such that the system has to resolve to some kind of quantum mechanically. Like in the realm of quantum mechanics, these systems shouldn't exist together. Are unstable together. but it existed before we were created. So why didn't it stabilize to equalize equilibrium between the system? Because they could have worked together, but evolved together. To give a modern world. Maybe you can have an antimatter thing that's classified. Why does that matter? Why was it like systems that were using like fire, like we struck a match, combustion. This is very informal, very well I'm saying it. Antimatter instead of matter, because you can burn us, you want to make a different system, because when you combust something, you get a different system, But I don't really explain it. You can't, but since you got fire, so you got all this stuff. We don't need it. We don't need it. So I think the question needs to be rephrased formally. Let me try it. Rephrase it formally. I'm acting kind of smart. I'm not really that smart, but I was kind of smart. Let me just rephrase the question. So, why do universe matter over antimatter? Before the Big Bang. Let me start with the hypothesis. Hypothetically, in the universe, there was due to the Big Bang. Yes, 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 yes. So you got the Big Bang, and you got the Big Crunch. These are two competing theories, but that's unified because it makes sense. So, but if you run experiments, the Big Bang is more stable. I love the Big Bang, but I'm not saying in the Big Bang. You can't just have a point singularity to explain everything. You have to use philosophy and your idea of thinking. So my idea is that we had a big crunch before Big Bang, and that's what I'm saying. So universe imploded, from nothingness to explode, to create something. Because if you have an explosion, you're scattering your system, but it's supposed to implode. So it comes from another universe. That's how universe gives birth. They implode. So and that's it. So why do we have matter over antimatter? I know this one. Let me test my hypothesis. I have to test this all myself, but matter, because matter is oh yes, I treat it like a biological system, like a biological system. So I use the kind of a system of biology to explain how it works. So biologically, there was a growth function of no biology. So basically, how do you think about biology? So biologically, you got some. I had a paper I wrote in it. I wrote a paper on it. I wrote a paper on it. What's the paper about? It was a paper on. Basically, I used biology to explain the growth factor of a system, of a stable system. Quantum like growth factor. Which 10%, 10%. I'm literally unsure about a lot of things about the framework I'm proposing. But system evolved because biologically it was or I can't remember. It has nothing to do with biology. There's nothing to do with biology. It just has something evolved. So it evolved because something I was trying to because I then listened so something must give. I don't know, but I have to find that paper I wrote to review it myself. So I'm sure I'm talking about. I know I'm talking about. Thank you for watching this video. I haven't given a hypothesis. I haven't even given a hypothesis. This is how. Let me give a hypothesis. Hypothetically, theoretically, you get it's a matter. Matter is our modern world. Antimatter. It's not our modern world. So you're gonna have it wasn't just matter. It was maybe it could have been the remnants of the universe before then. Once you implode, you actually explode. Because our system imploded. It became because it shifted from redshift to and imploded. So the Buffon needle model imploded from the Buffon needle, which is the Buffon experiment, which is our model of the universe, my model of how it imploded, how my universe imploded. So the Buffon model, the Buffon needle the needle dropped and imploded into a universe because it was shifting away and everything. That's why everything's shifting in our universe. Nothing's getting closer together. Everything's shifting away. Called drift theorem, and because white antimatter. Same thing is like why would our use the antimatter? Our universe is not antimatter, but this one's moving away. It has to hold itself together, and that's why you have matter. My hypothesis is like our universe holds itself together. There's a glue on, yes, but I almost saying glue on, like this form. So our universe is shifting away. It's being scattered, but since it's imploded, everything is positive to charge. So you have things that are positively charged anyways. So my hypothesis is like because we have the Buffon needle experiment that I'm using that our universe is the needle itself is drifting away from everything. How it holds itself together is through matter, and that's why universe uses matter. So this will be my formal framework for describing why matter over antimatter. Thank you for watching this video. So the Buffon needle experiment was like if our universe is the needle itself, you have the void, and it pierces through the void. It drifted away, shifted away. And that's we got redshift, that's we got Doppler effect. But these are all systems that quantumly are matter bound. So they work on our principle of matter. If you try to use antimatter, you get a system converge instead of diverge. So you instead of moving away, diverge into a sequence of explosions. So that's the idea there. Okay.